Hello and welcome to After the Match podcast here on Hello Media. I am your host Samuel Lyon, and I would have said this is the inaugural episode of After the Match podcast, but nah, that would be me, lying through my feet, through my teeth, and all of that. This I'm so related to bring this wrestling podcast here to Hello Media. This will be the first episode actually on the YouTube, like done this way and everything. But the previous episode, we're working on making sure on how to get it out. And although it was content with a content done earlier in the year, but it would be nice, putting it out back out so that you can get your eyes and ears on it. And I'm so elated sincerely to be able to do this and doing it this way. Wherever you're watching from, thank you so very much. Drop a comment, subscribe, like, share, and send it to your friends, send it to a friend, to send it to a friend, send it to a friend. And if you're listening on Spotify, on Apple Podcasts, anywhere you are listening to us, on all audio platform, we say thank you. I say thank you for tuning in. Thank you for giving us the opportunity. I will dive right in. So After the Match podcast is a wrestling podcast by me, Samuel Lyon, crafted for the audience. It's me trying to put out something that is close to home. I've been a wrestling fan all my life, and I've always wanted to do content on pro wrestling, but I've always wanted to bring it on to the best way possible, to do it on the best way possible. And I'm so elated to get to do this on immediately after Monday Night Raw. So I'm from West Africa, Nigeria, and I feel like I'm like the only Nigerian that is reviewing pro wrestling in the world actually. And I'm so elated sincerely to be in Nigeria and do this because Raw comes on 2 a.m. Western African time, and which is 8 p.m. Eastern time in the US, and 2 a.m. over here, and we have to stay awake 2 hours 30 minutes, sometimes 3 hours plus, depending on the night of Monday Night Raw, and watch through till 5. Right now, recording this is about 5:09 in the morning. So getting to try something out like this, and then in a couple of hours you have to head out to work and everything. It's so kind of like it's a chore, it's a task that I'm like, if I'm willing to do this content fully, willing to do this content continually, and need to do it needs to be done this way. And it better to differ. Okay, so what about other people? How can we get other co-hosts, other friends that would love to have comment on the show and everything? Now that is all of the things I'm looking at. But After the Match podcast will be one where you'll be hearing only from me, my live reviews on shows. So I'm trying to see how we can get this done, but I'm very sure Monday Night Raw would always be reviewed by me. And we're looking at NXT, AEW shows, that's Dynamite, and all these shows that Collision and the rest of the pay-per-view shows, and Freedom Live events or pay-per-views from their end who have SmackDown and all. So as the week unfolds, I would be looking at ways on how to bring the content to you. And thank you so much for jumping in. This is After the Match podcast with your host Samuel Lyon here on Hello Media. So watching us on YouTube, if you are listening to us on Spotify, on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, wherever you listen to us on all audio platforms, and subsequently bringing us to social media. But thank you so very much, and we'll get right into business with the first Raw after Survivor Series. This Raw was being held, and it was really a crazy one, because coming out with the rumors of everything, I checked Triple H handle to know where this rumor, this stuff, this idea of the show going to be epic stem from. I don't know where this comment was made. If you know where this comment was made, you can highlight it for me on the comment section there. You can send it to me on social media, Samuel Lyon, on Facebook, Samuel Lyon, on X and on Samuel Lion CCP on Instagram. You can send it to me. You can email it to me, and I will drop all of my handles on the description of the video. So you could, if there's anything I missed, you can send it down there, and anything you want me to talk on, you can send down, because I don't know where this word epic came from. I've been hearing it all night, all day on Monday. Oh, Triple A says the Raw will be epic. I should look forward to Raw. Like, not as if I wanted to miss Raw, because I knew I was gonna do this, bring this episode in. So I'm like, I was definitely gonna tune in, but like, kind of like talk about having additional motivation. I'm like, okay, oh, if you not really want to put in the work now, you want to definitely need to check out the show, and we did check out the show. I don't know about Epic, but Raw was good. I don't know about Epic, because nothing, I can't sit down and watch every, like at the end of the show, come off that show and say, oh, that was epic. I mean, I'm so tired of, trips using the buzzwords, all these buzzwords of, Epic's gonna be great after seeing it, and then it's 000 across the board. Because you go in there. I did mention on the previous, I just recorded a podcast for Sports Jedi Network at the Hill of the Ring Hill of the Ring podcast YouTube channel. The show is not uploaded yet, and I complained a lot on the act of like WWE always hyping, and everything is all about big production, big this thing. Everything is always big in their eyes and everything, and premium tickets, premium ticketing, all of the craziness, celebrations and all. And then when it comes to the storytelling, they are the only ones that are really, not say the only one, but they are the ones that are really pushing stories everywhere. But like, we don't really get a kick in the story. Like, we are not really, oh, it's a must watch. Like, we don't really have a much watch thing. Like, oh, we are going in. It's just a whole lot. And I'm like, I hate it when you keep hyping and putting hypes around it, and then people come in, and then nothing. It comes off crazy. So this was this Raw emanated from Glendale, Arizona, from the Desert Diamond Arena, and we had two competing matchups for the last time is now tournament. And LA Knight with Jey Uso, we had Gunther and the MFT leader Solo Sikoa in the semifinals, and this was to to get them to the finals, which will be happening on this Friday night. And then AJ Styles and Dragon Lee defending the tag team titles against the New Day. And it was just a crazy scenario. We just had a lot of questions, even with the mystery man, the questions surrounding the mystery man and everything. So Raw kicked off, obviously, Wade Barrett and Joe Tessitore welcoming the fans, the welcoming the audience at home before the show kicking off, recapping the video of Event of Survivor Series, War Games and all. We see Dominic and Liv pulling up to the arena, all of us in their lowrider and all. Like, it was great actually seeing these people, and you love to see Dominic Mysterio and Liv Morgan and seeing Judgment Day. So Raw kicked off with Rhea Ripley and Io Sky, and so we're gonna get bit to bit. So Ripley says that while Becky, Nia, Lash Legend, Asuka, and Kairi Sane may have won the battle, herself, Sky, Charlotte Flair, Sky meaning Io Sky, Charlotte Flair, Alexa Bliss, and AJ Lee won the war. She says there are things far from over. Things are far from over because Asuka and Sane hurt Sky. They say then says her and Io Sky wants revenge, which starts with dethroning Asuka and Sane as women's tag team champion. Io Sky says they're not ready for Rio, but before they could continue, Flair and Bliss music cuts are off, and they make their way down there to the ring. And Charlotte Flair says, while she and Alexa Bliss understand wanting to stand up for someone you are close to, they still want a women's tag team championship rematch. Ripley says she respects Flair and Bliss, but they need to get to the back of the line because they couldn't beat Asuka and Sane. Flair says she doesn't step aside for anyone and tells Ripley to prove it to her. Bliss then challenges Ripley and Sky to a match on behalf of Flair and herself. So this was a segment that try to highlight the four women. And in as much as I was like, okay, what are Shafle and Decency doing together? But well, we'll need to they tied that up because we had a moment, a segment backstage where the general manager was on the phone talking to the general manager of SmackDown, Nick Aldis, because we heard him say Aldis, something like that, and then like reporting to him and telling him that everything would be handled. He knows that they are his talent and he's not supposed to, make matches against them and everything. But well, he made the match and all of that. I want to go back to you what Flair said, because it's good seeing Charlotte Flair in this role where she's like she's doing a babyface thingy, and like the fans are really getting behind her. We've always seen her in title pictures and everything, so I don't want to see her because she's babyface. She's just acting all babyface. We still need to see that side of her. And I love the fact that she came out and like she was like she doesn't step aside for anyone. Like try to remember, like, excuse me, no matter what you might be thinking of everything, I'm still the Charlotte Flair. And I like how Ripley brought it. Like at the end of the day, you guys lost. You guys couldn't crack the code in beating Oscar and saying we have the code right now. So like if there's anyone going to the back of the line, it should be you guys, although you have the title rematch and all of that. So it's just great seeing these women do what these women know that do, and we'll talk more about on the main event there later. We had LA Knight and Jey Uso going at it. One one thing about this was the LA Knight stuff. It was a whole lot of issues with what's going to happen with LA Knight, Jey Uso. I couldn't stomach the whole thing that LA Knight will be losing and all that. Personally, for me, I was like, well, I don't know about Jey Uso, but I wasn't ready to see Gunther and Jey Uso again, at least not now. And I loved how this was handled because the right man won. We'll pick it during the commercial break. Almost to the tail end of the match, Knight runs down right hands and Jay in the corner. He sends a drop kick to Jay through. It's like it was really a physical match, and I like the way Jey Uso looked in this match. Like they had a great match, and it was something that you would look at. I'm like, whoa. In as much as personally for me, like I feel like for now I'm okay with him not being a single talent. I understand the grandeur, I understand the money being made with him and everything, but I just believe like right now, like I'm okay with him not being a single talent. And that was what we got over here. I don't know about you. If you're not okay with seeing him as you can comment below and send me, shoot me a text on why you feel you still want him to continue. So I'll pick up at the end here. Jay connects with a spear on Knight and pins him, but Knight kicks out. Jay ascends to the top rope. He lands a superplex on Jay, but Jay levels Knight with a spear and ascends to the top rope. He connects with their no-soul splash. He goes for the pin, but Elliot turns into it. Like, this was perfect. Like, they had us believe, like, everything connected well, and we're like, the Yates man is going over, and he turns it over with transitioning into a pinfall, and pinned his shoulders, and Elliot got the win. And that was crazy, and you're like, they really did do it. And we saw Jey Uso crashing out, and I'm like, personally for me, I'm interested in like understanding where this goes, because we saw in the night he was throwing several prime hydration bottles, hitting the ring steps, just destroying the ringside in his own way, and just literally crashing out and going to the back. We even saw Jackie Redbone, come to him and like what's going on. It was like, it's just a crazy scenario. And we'll see where that goes with Jay. Personally, for me, I'm like, I'm done with him being a singles. I'm okay with him not being a singles star for now, and just being him, joining with the brother, and then getting back to the Usos, and then getting to stack this this tag team division again. So we got to see the old Judgment Day crew, Dominic leading the troops, and Dominic says John Cena is the greatest of all time. but he just beat the greatest of all time. He called himself the greatest Mysterio, the greatest luchador of all time, and greatest intercontinental. A lot of greats in this. I'm feeling. I, I just had the egg. Thinking about Tony Khan here. He says he couldn't have done it alone without Balor, McDonough, Perez, and Rodriguez, but there's one person he definitely could not have done it without. Liv Morgan. Morgan's music hits and she makes her way to the ring. Morgan says she's back and says no one saw her coming, including Cena. Dominic says Judgment Day knew Cena would figure out their plan, but with an ace up his sleeve, he got his Intercontinental Championship back. And Morgan says she's been hearing people say the Judgment Day is weak, has lost some of his gold. The Judgment Day have lost some of his golds, and is falling apart. She says that all changes now that she's back. Then says Judgment Day is coming for everything that's theirs. She says Judgment Day officially runs Raw again before she slaps Dominic out of anger. She then hugs him, kisses Dominic on the cheek. We then head up. So it's just like it's crazy scenario. A lot of people, including me, was thinking, okay, now she's back. It's a hell will break loose because of the not like rumors, but because of like the story of like, oh, she and Roxanne Perez. Roxanne Perez is was the one that was trying to get Dominic in her absence. Like we're thinking that's the angle they will be going. So to see her go this route and not even say anything on that was like, what's going on? Yeah, personally for everybody was like, what the fuck? And like for me, like I'm like, no, I had like, okay, so that was basic. So they're not even pushing on anything. But one thing with the Triple H administration, like they like stringing things. If there's one thing I don't like, is how they string things that they should, all gas, no brakes, not trying to, no shade here to to Jacob Fatu, but like they tend to hit the pause too often and they tend to drag things too much, and I'm like, some things need to just get going. So we'll see where that goes in the end of the night. We had a beautiful and impeccable video of Maxine Dupree training with Natalia. Remember in the dungeon? Remember Maxine telling manager last week how she wanted to call Natalia and everything, hit Natalia up and to talk. So to see how Natalia has been vocal about this low-key legend, wanted to prove to the boss with Triple H and everything on how much valuable she still is. She's the longest tenured women's employee in that company. So I like the fact that I'm so done with Natalia. Like I would love to see the low-key legend Natty making debut on the main roster and everything. This video package, if you haven't seen it, is impeccable. You can go check it out. I believe it should be. You can if you don't watch the show, check out the show. You see it, and I'm definitely sure they will upload it on your social medias. And if they have not already done it on your YouTube, you can go check it. Like it was impeccable. It highlighted Natty so well, and shows the hard work that although it's like kind of like wanting to prove what this girl Maxine Dupree is doing, but like it more or less was some kind of like a coming out party for Natalia, Natty, the low-key legend. That's the character that's gonna like the I don't give a fuck character. I'm so ready to see this. And this, man, before I even continue with the show, don't forget to like, share, subscribe. Hello Media everywhere, audio platform, Spotify, Apple Podcast, Google Podcast, whatever you listen to us on. Also, please subscribe to our channel, like, share, comments, whatever anything you feel like not address, or anything you feel that I address and you did not like the opinion, you can drop in the comments. I'm going to address it on the next episode or the next video I do right before I do something else. So we went to the tag team championship match between the New Day and AJ Styles. I will call them AJ Lee, Dragon Lee and AJ Styles. This was an incredible match. It was just a great match and all. Like the last sequence where Lee flies through the middle rope to level Woods and Weller outside. That was Dragon Lee. No. There was this sequence right before he flew he launched himself out there to the rest of the guys. He did a shotgun drop kick. No, it wasn't. Styles draped a qualification on the top rope. Lee, spring dives through the top rope, delivered a double stomp to the spine. You could hear the snap tap on Kofi Kingston's spine, and the force, the velocity, and the impact of that drop kick from the top rope landing on Kofi that was draped on top of the top rope. From the top bunk, like Dragon League was on top of the top turnbuckle, while Kofi Kingston was draped on the top rope. So he flying and hitting him like it's crazy, the impact, and then Kofi now bounces off. AJ was right there to, incredible, impeccable sequence. AJ was right there to catch him and deliver the Styles Clash. I'm like, holy fucking shit. That was like the fans, everybody in Arizona stood up and like, what did we just see? And they hit there and Styles Clash, and then they won the match. Like, it was a crazy one, and I'm like, oh, crazy. That was nice. The AJ Lee, in this context, AJ Styles and Dragon Lee won their match there. So the Vision made their way out to the ring, and we hear from the Vision. Now, this was an incredible segment because they tried to highlight, and now Logan Paul is kind of like officially part of the team. Like, it brings the heat to, like, because I don't feel like they really had hits, even with when it was just them, Seth Rollins and them. I didn't even not feel like they really had it, but with them now having the opportunity to have Logan Paul in it, like everybody, like, indeed they have solidified themselves right now as the hit and all. Polyman began gloating about the Vision, Brock Lesnar, Drew McIntyre, and he gave them all shout outs, and he says no one was escaping the cage with Bronson Reed in it, or with Logan Paul being the Maverick. Then says Punk will lose the world heavy. So this was a moment where Heyman made an announcement, because right before they came out for this segments a while back, Paul did go to have a meeting with Braun Breaker, telling manager, like, we need to have a meeting. Manager was like, I don't even, do you think after what you pull and so that's I'm going to have a meeting with you? He's like, I think you'd really have to have a meeting with us, because he in this context, Braun Breaker pinned the world heavyweight champion CM Punk, and I think that deserves a meeting. So they had a meeting together in the office. That we were not able to see the meeting. They all went to the office, the three of them. So now I believe with this announcement, that was what the discussion was successful for them. They got the green light, and Raw Day 1, on the first Raw of 2026, the 1 year anniversary of Raw on Netflix, it will be for the World Heavyweight Championship, the champion CM Punk versus the challenger Braun Breaker on live on Netflix, January 5th, 2026. So we haven't even left the year yet, and we already have a match announced for the new year. That's the one thing this company does right: marketing, promotion, and like talk about the Dana White or like the greatest boxing promotion you can think of. That's what like I feel right now. This one aches me so much about this TKO and WWE at the moment, led by Triple H and Tony and Nick Khan and the rest of them. All like you will now get them, see them hyping this whole thing. They will now refuse to do other things like hyping this one match. Like, I give it to them when it comes to promoting and marketing and everything. They have that number. When I just want to see them put in more work on like the storytelling and like letting us enjoy what, like, it's just crazy. But well, I give it to them. And first match for next year has already been announced for I believe that will be the main event for that night. First Raw Day 1 2026, Braun Breaker, CM Punk. I'm making my prediction: Breaker coming out World Heavyweight Champion, because that what needs to happen. Sincerely, Punk won last year's inaugural episode. I don't think, well, except they want to pull history, but yeah, that's just it. So we had a moment where Breaker had his opportunity to talk. Breaker says the hooded figure tried ruining his moment on Saturday. Then says, while he thought he would have to level up to Punk. He realized that wasn't the case in War Games. He says Punk is no different than any other veteran living in their past glory, or an egomaniac like Seth Rollins. Then says Punk tried to ruin his life on Saturday and is now going to ruin his life. He says, Bron Breakker in this context, he will be standing over Punk on January 5th. Then says Punk will look in his eyes and realize he's not the best in the world like he is. There was the part of this segment he called Punk a bitch, just to be the bitch or something like. It was just so crazy, and they were like, oh, like Breakker was so hyped up with this. You could see the film in his head, like he pulled his jacket off. He was just so hyped, and like immediately just when he dropped the mic and fucking head out of that. And Twitter was good. I'm like, holy shit. Now that's the man. People were Breakker definitely was trending, and I just believe like you can't tell me he's not a WrestleMania main event. Like, if there's one thing about this Raw, just like Sakev on Sports Network, shout out to Sakev, he did say something about if there's one thing we don't know about Epic, but at least one thing we could come out of this Raw was that there was a heavy push, like heavy focus on like the future stars of the company. Like, there was no Punk on this show. Reigns was not on this show. I know Cody doesn't work Raw, but we did not see Charlotte and Alexa on this show. Like, Cody was not there. Like, there were top stars that were not on this show, right? And it still did not feel like a total letdown. It just, if we did not hear this buzzword Epic, maybe this would be a great show. But because like we were expecting so much, right? Brock Lesnar was not on this show. Like, there's a lot of people that were not on this show that you'd be like, oh, this show would have sucked. But this show did not really actually suck. It's just like the expectation coming in, plus the anticipation from the buzzword we heard from the so-called people on social media was saying, because I don't know where this came from. Like I said, if you know anything about it, you can send it here to me for me to know what that was all about and all. So that was it. So like I said, backstage, Jackie Redmond trying to catch up with Jay. So Jay brushes her off, then says that Roman said it best when he said that the title looks better on Reigns' shoulder rather than his. So this is Jay doubting himself. This is Jay not believing in himself anymore. This is Jay saying, okay, well, all the doubters have actually gotten to me. You people have succeeded in getting to me. I'm no shit. I'm nothing. I can't do shit no more. Like the hype train is dead. I mean, Roman should come get his place. I'm done trying to be the man around here. So that was like a crazy sequence, seeing them. Now the next match actually bothered me, because like I knew for sure that I wanted Gunther to, there's no way Solo is beating Gunther. Like, I knew for sure like there's no way they're beating the ring general. Not after all of this. But the thing about it was a heel versus heel match, and getting to see where what they did with this really got to bring more eyes and everything. I love what these guys did here. I'm not like a huge fan of Solo Sikoa, but like I need to appreciate effort when I see one. If there's one man that can expose anyone in this business, has to be Gunther. Gunther will literally expose you if you don't have what it takes to be a ring general, if I may say. So like Solo had to bring it, and Solo brought it. I love the way it was a heel versus heel, and Gunther was kind of like the baby face in this one, and like he wasn't cheating on until the very end, and it was a great showing that highlighted that at least Solo, not at least, it highlighted that Solo, with a good partner can really get a good match out of him. So we'll pick it right off almost at the end. Gunther set up for the Samoan spike. Solo Sikoa set up for the Samoan spike, but Gunther catches him in a sleeper hole. Sikoa grabs on the top rope to break the hole, but Gunther delivers a German suplex to Sikoa as the referee fixes the turnbuckle that Solo pulled while he was around there. When Gunther was trying to give him the German suplex, he put the top ring bottom buckle off. Talatonga runs over Gunther with a big boot, holds him in place for Sikoa to deliver the small strike before the referee cuts them and everything. And in that moment, Gunther gave Talatonga the mole kick, low blow, and he low blow Talatonga outside. It was a crazy sequence where he was able to catch Sikowa and Teola. He berates Talatonga for doing all of that. Gunther then hits Solo's hand on the apron and threw him inside. And as the referee was busy, berating Talatonga outside, Gunther was like, "Well, this is my chance." He low blowed the hell out of Solo Sikoa. He flows out with a power bomb for the win, and that was an incredible one. It was after the match, LA Knight made his way to the ring briefly to confront Gunther, and then we got the graphics for Friday, where it will be the both of them for the finals. And I can't make a prediction right now because now that's great, because like just as um the fans are like trying to the narrative of like, he's already Gunther. The fact that LA Knight, we did not really see him in that picture, like we wish that he should get the highlight and get the showing. And so to see that he has made it to the finals, this one is a not like a tough one, because like I can't always bet against Gunther, but at the end of the day I would be like, well, it's it's a crazy one. I'm not gonna make my prediction right now. I'm not gonna make my prediction right now. Maybe let's see how I feel coming into the week. There will definitely be an episode right before. There will be an episode before SmackDown on our channel Hello Media on YouTube, Hello Media on Spotify and all audio platforms. We'll have a show, another episode after the match podcast to cover NXT and AEW. So right then, but I will see how I feel going into after those shows and seeing if I can still feel LA Knight will be the one for the man for the job. So for now, like, let's leave that there. But whatever you think, you can drop it on the comment section and like tell me what you think. So we head backstage to see Dragon Lee and AJ Styles approach Adam Pearce to ask if they can defend the World Heavyweight Championship against War Raiders. And Pearce, made it official. So this was time for the main events where Charlotte Flair and Alexa Bliss versus Ripley. So this was a kind of like a sloppy match to say the least. And I did not understand what was literally going on. Obviously, thank God for Barrett and Joe Torsatori. They were really, helping the women here, saying it's because of the War Games match. The War Games that did not do shit. But we'll digress. If you have not watched the Head My Show, it should be out on Hello Media soon. Definitely before in the next episode of After the Match podcast, that review on Survivor Series will be uploaded here, and you can listen to my take on the Survivor Series women's match. And I don't want to jinx it. When you get to see it, you like, you share, you comment, and you definitely subscribe to our channel so that you can get to know what happened and everything. So we'll pick this up almost at the tail end, where Ripley sends Flair crashing off the apron on the top floor. She drags Sky into the corner and tags herself in, then sets up for the Razor's Edge on Bliss. Bliss avoids it and sets up for Sister Abigail on Ripley, but Ripley escapes and rocks Bliss with a headbutt. She floats it up with a riptide to her and tags in Sky. Sky then delivers over the moonsault to Bliss and pins her, but Flair sends herself and Ripley crashing into Bliss and Sky to break the fall. Oscar and Carrie run down the ring, begin attacking Sky, causing the disqualification. So this was a no contest. And after the match, Bayley and Lara Valkyria runs down to Sky's aid. Now, granted, Bayley and Lyra met the general manager complaining about their own opportunity, wanting to also be part of like the women's tag team championship contendership shit. And the manager was like, well, you people are not even friends, people are not even like a team, like people are not even consistent in friendship and everything. So how it's so crazy how it's kind of like, are they fucking up this Bayley stuff? Like, we're like, Bayley was actually becoming a split personality person, and we're really looking forward to seeing that a couple of weeks ago. And like, it seems like nothing is really coming out of that. Like, where's the momentum? Now, this is one thing I really hate about this Triple H this part of like, some things just don't need to be string along just too much. There's something that like, just let it keep going, go with the flow, stop being safe. Damn. After the so the beatdown has continued on Valkyria gets up on the announced decks looking to fly over to level Kairi Sane, only for Liv Morgan to appear out of nowhere, trips Sane as Roxanne Perez, Raquel Rodriguez attacks Asuka and Bailey in the ring. Rodriguez and Perez grab the Women's Tag Team Championship belts to hold them as Morgan joins them. Before, when Morgan joined, you saw that moment where like Roxanne tried to, he did not try. Roxanne actually handed one of the tag team belts to Liv Morgan because Liv Morgan is the original tag team partner to Raquel. She in Roxanne Perez just filled in. So that moment of like, oh, you're back, so come take your spot. And I love what I said because if Liv already confronted the World Heavyweight Champion, which in Stephanie Vaquer, there's no need, going for the tag team championship again. So that was the moment of like, okay, don't worry, girl, you got it. Liv handed the title, said no, this is for you, and just handed the title to Roxanne, and then went to the middle and raised the both of their hands off. So this kind of like highlighted the women's division, and like I feel like this is like the really first time since that title was created, when it was being won by Bailey and Sasha, and had Absolution, Riot Squad, I believe. We had tags, and like I feel like that is like the first time since the inception of this title being created that this title has really felt like they had a women's division behind it and all of that. And as a fan, I'm like, okay, in as much as this was not like what like really I came into Raw thinking like, oh, I'm coming to get this match, like this was not the TV like I really tuned into Raw to get. But nevertheless, like I'm excited for the women. I'm like happy for them, because it's one thing to ask for an opportunity, is another thing when you get to have that given to you. And I don't feel like, they were just given something. I feel like they deserve it, and we'll really get to see what they will get to do with this. And personally for me, this show was not epic, we know that for sure, but one of the things I am proud and happy is just to see all of the future characters being taken care of. And thank you so much for listening in. I can't wait for the next episode of After the Match podcast, and here on Hello Media. If you love this episode, let me know what you think. Let me know your say on everything. Thank you for being here. If you're listening to us on audio platforms, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, wherever you listen to us on all audio platforms, thank you for doing that. Drop your comments, email us, check the link below. We'll be dropping the email link, email address. You can follow me on social media. We'll drop those links, those addresses there for you to follow. Thank you so very much for listening, and till next time, peace out.